In the headlines, Bandits Strike Military Base in Niger, multiple soldiers fell dead. PDP reinstates Anyanwu as National Secretary. Gombe resident fault TCN's restoration claims as businesses suffer over power blackout. On the foreign scene, 2 killed as Kenya's anniversary protest erupts into violence. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update on Trust TV. My name is Idris Dayabaturi. An unspecified number of soldiers have been reportedly killed in an encounter with bandits in Niger local government area of Niger State. Trust TV gathered that the bandit numbering over 100 attacked the military base at Konanduse, a few kilometers away from Bangi, the headquarters of Niger local government area, Tuesday morning. Sources said many bandits were also killed in the fierce battle that lasted for hours. One of the local government sources gave the number of casualties on the part of the soldiers as 20, while other sources said 23 soldiers were killed. One of the sources said the bandits passed the night at Gulbimboka after the residents had fled their homes. The Niger State Commissioner for Homeland Security, Brigadier General Bello Abdullahi Muhammad, retired, was yet to respond to inquiries about the incident as at press time. Now, Kebbi State Governor Nasiru Idris has announced plans to review state laws to introduce the death penalty or life imprisonment for individuals convicted or aiding bandits as informants. The move followed renewed attacks in Tadurga and Kebu communities in Zuru and Denko Wasogu local government areas, which claimed 30 lives. During a condolence visit on Tuesday, Governor Idris described informant as a major threat to public safety and stressed his administration's commitment to tackling insecurity. He revealed plans to establish a military base in the Zuru Emirate and confirmed the immediate deployment of armored personnel carriers, APCs, and other equipment to the region. He urged residents to avoid politicizing security issues and making inflammatory comments on social media. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetekun, has vowed that Nigeria will not succumb to the forces of terror, assuring citizens that security agencies remain resolute in the face of ongoing violence. Speaking in the aftermath of recent attacks in Benue and Plateau State, the IGP declared that the criminals may have struck, but NPF will strike back with the full force of the law, adding that they are not threatened by advancing and will not stop until every Nigerian can sleep with both eyes closed. The police chief confirmed that 26 suspects have been arrested and several weapons recovered in connection with the killings of 47 people in Yelwata, Benue State, an attack which also left many injured and displaced over 100 residents. Additionally, the IGP said 22 suspects have been apprehended over a separate deadly attack on travelers in Plateau State, where 9 lives were lost and several others sustained injuries. The IGP also disclosed that 5 more suspects were arrested in connection with another recent violent incident in Benue State.
Similarly, on 22nd of June 2025, a heartbreaking incident occurred in Mangu, Plateau State, where a bus conveying passengers from Zaria was stopped and attacked by a mob. Tragically, 9 of the passengers were murdered and 3 sustained injuries before our teams could intervene and rescue the remaining 22 suspects, 22 victims. So far, 22 suspects have also been arrested in connection with this gruesome act of mob violence. They too will face the full right of the law in court.
Now, operatives of Benue State Police Command have apprehended 5 persons in connection with the killing of 2 indigenes of Kano State in Makurdi. The arrest was sequel to Governor Hyacinth Aliye's earlier directives to the Commissioner of Police and other relevant security operatives to ensure the criminals were arrested and prosecuted in the state. The governor, who spoke through his chief press secretary, Tarsu Kula, described the act as barbaric and unacceptable, declaring that the perpetrators must be fished out and brought to justice with immediate effect. He extended his heartfelt condolences to his Kano State counterpart, Abba Kabir Yusuf, over the tragic and regrettable loss of two of his people. The two governors spoke closely earlier in the day over the unfortunate incident, with Governor Alia appealing for calm and assuring the people of Kano State that justice will be served. Now, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has reinstated Senator Samuel Anyanwu as its national secretary following prolonged leadership tussle. Acting National Chairman Ilia Damagun announced the decision on Wednesday at the party's national secretariat in Abuja, describing it as difficult but necessary. He also said the planned NEC meeting has been cancelled in favor of an expanded caucus session on June 30. Anyawu's return follows a closed-door meeting between PDP leaders and INEC, where the electoral body urged the party to comply with a Supreme Court judgment affirming its internal authority to decide leadership positions. The leadership crisis began after Anyanwu contested the Imo governorship election. In his absence, Sunday Ude Okoye was named secretary by the Southeast Caucus. A legal battle ensued, ending in a Supreme Court ruling that left the decision to the party.
Anyanwu is resuming as the national secretary. I think that's the most important thing. We have no option but to abide by the decision. After due consultation and everything, we thought it's a bitter pill, but we have to swallow it. Whether I want to use this opportunity to call on all our party faithful to know that it was a difficult decision, but survival of the party is more than all of us, more than everything that you feel that you yearn for.
Now, mixed reaction from Gombe. Residents have greeted the recent announcement from the transmission company of Nigeria that it has restored full electricity in the state. While some commend the effort, many are calling for consistent power supply to support local businesses and household needs. Hassan Koli has more.
It's been days since the transmission company of Nigeria claimed to have fully restored electricity in Gombe State. But reactions from residents point to a different story, as many of them are divided on the issue. Some residents say their communities still experience erratic power supply, contrary to TCN's declaration. They argue that small businesses, especially those relying on steady electricity, are suffering the most. From my personal experience, power supply has improved recently. However, it remains unstable and insufficient to fully support our laundry and dry cleaning business. Although authorities claim that electricity has been restored, we only receive about 2 hours of supply per day. We therefore ask them to not only maintain but also significantly improve power availability. We have been experiencing persistent power shortages, although there has been a relatively stable power supply in recent days. Since this coincides with the billing period for postpaid customers, it's difficult to determine whether this improvement is a genuine restoration or simply a strategy to prompt bill payment. Some business owners and residents are urging the federal government and TCN to address the root causes of the instability and not merely focus on restoration announcements, saying they are doubting the recent announcement by the TCN. This situation has negatively impacted our welding business, as we have been unable to work effectively. For us, power supply has not been fully restored. We ask the authorities to intensify effort to ensure a stable and reliable supply.
game da gyaran wutan lantarki da aka ce wai an gyara a nan arewaci.
I haven't noticed any improvement. In fact, we have had no electricity since the electrocution incident. We are appealing to relevant stakeholders to assist the hospitalized victims and urgently restore power to our neighborhood.
Domin menene akwai ibtila'in da ya same mu a anguwanmu wanda a takaice mutane shida sun mutu.
As the debate continues, residents are united in one demand: stable, reliable power supply that can boost small-scale enterprises and reduce hardship in the face of rising cost of alternative energy sources. While TCN insists it has done its part, the experience of Gombe residents suggests there is still more to be done. For now, the call is loud and clear. Power stability, not just restoration, is what the people need. Hassan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, the Nigerian Union of Teachers and other education unions in Edo State have opposed Governor Monday Okpebolo's plan to return 36 public schools to the Catholic mission. In a joint statement, the NUT, ANCOPS and AOPSION called for the immediate suspension of the policy, warning that it could undermine secular education, limit access for children from poor backgrounds, and create religious tension. They noted that missionary schools are often expensive and focus heavily on religious instruction, which could exclude disadvantaged pupils and conflict with national education standard. The union scholars cautioned that the move could set a precedent, prompting other religious groups to demand control of schools previously owned by them. They urged the governor to reconsider the decision and instead prioritize strengthening the public education system to ensure inclusivity, affordability, and unity. Now, the Adamawa state government has vowed to utilize technology for the enhancement of administration functions, ensuring increased transparency and effective data management. To this end, the State Planning Commission has organized a training session for 21 local governments, monitoring and evaluating officers as part of effort to achieve the goal. Trust TV's Gibson Suadigo has more.
Monitoring and evaluation officers from the 21 council-areas of Adamawa State convened at the State Secretariat for a two-day workshop aimed at deepening their understanding of e-governance through technology integration. The workshop was organized by the Adamawa State Planning Commission, an agency that receives funding from Governor Fintri to foster the adoption of technological tools in governance. The executive chairman of the commission, Mary Paninga, reeled out the significance of the meeting, which was conducted with the approval of the Adamawa State Governor.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, Right Honorable Ahmadu Umar Fintri, being a project master, has done a lot and is doing a lot. And he sees the need for monitoring to back up his activities. And with this, the team has to be trained adequately because we are going technological. Adamawa is technological in its own monitoring. And we need all the local governments to be technologically monitored, covering the 21 LGAs. So the staff are being built, their capacity is being built so that they will be able to adequately deliver.
Throughout the program, participants were provided with tablets and received comprehensive training on advanced functionalities of the digital devices. The attendees expressed their appreciation to Governor Fintri for endorsing the training initiative and committed to applying their newly acquired knowledge to further government policies and programs.
We have been given this tablet to go around and look at all the projects that His Excellency is doing across all the 21 local government of the state that we have, to send all the projects that we have monitored the dashboard of this commission.
But this is much more significant because we are using a more modernized, sophisticated equipment in taking our reports and monitoring to evaluate works that has been ongoing.
Adamawa State says it is dedicated to advancing e-governance through information and communication technology to promote transparency and accountability in its operations. Gibson Suadigo, Trust TV News, Yola.
This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Censorship board cracks down on films glorifying thuggery in Kano. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Bandits strike military base in Niger. Multiple soldiers fare dead. And PDP reinstate Anyanwu as national secretary. Now moving on to more stories, Kano State Films and Videos Censorship Board is adopting a carrot and stick approach in dealing with filmmakers in the state portraying thuggery and violence in movies without showing the negative consequences of such characters. Executive Secretary of the board, Abel Mustafa, in an interview with Trust TV, said any violator of the guidelines will face prosecution. Ahmed Datti's report is hereby presented.
Kano State has in recent times been witnessing a rise in thuggery, street fights, and phone snatching. The trend and Islamic cleric blame on local films portraying violent characters, which we believe many young viewers often try to copy. The censorship board, however, said filmmakers in the state have been cautioned to stop portraying violent characters in movies, or if they must, should emphatically highlight the negative consequences of such roles, underscoring the superiority and overwhelming powers of the security operatives.
A villain role turned hero. He is above the law. He is maybe he can do the unthinkable in the movie. At the end of the movie, you will see that he turns to be the hero. No. That is a negative statement, and now Kano State censorship will never accept it, and it will never censor that movie. But at least if you know the negative, if you want to show to the public the negativity of being a villain, a thug, somebody that is a nuisance in the society, at least let's show the people, the audience, that it is a negative thing, and don't engage yourself in it.
El Mustafa also said the board is winning the war against cross-dressing in Kano, with the latest conviction of one of them by the court.
And if you can see those artists that are participating on all those cross-dressing maybe roles, it has stopped, and we have been at least prosecuting them. Even if they tend not to do it on movies, they go to social media platforms and portrays it there, and we did not leave them to go free, because those are the characters that we don't want our younger ones to know it. We don't want them to even have a perception of it is only on in the northern part of Nigeria. And I believe you will not see cross-dressers in the southern part of Nigeria. You can only rarely, but now maybe a character, one portrays that character and he has been accepted by the society, maybe the viewers. So everybody will tend to do that similar character, and it will be too much for the northern part of the country to carry, or the Hausa-speaking people to carry it along.
Kano serves as a hub for filmmaking in Nigeria, attracting artists to the industry from different parts of the country. Ahmed Datti, Trust TV News, Kano.
And now in business, at the backdrop of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) push for higher external reserves accretion, stable naira, and elevated dollar liquidity, there are chances that external sector of the economy will strengthen following the rising crude oil prices. According to economic analysts, the ongoing prices rally over Israeli-Iran war portends a combination of risk and upside for the economy, underlining the need for a proactive management of its impact. Brent oil futures for July delivery gained over 9%, trading at $75.15 per barrel, the highest price since early February. Analysts said Apex Bank is already leveraging on the oil prices rally to consolidate recent gains on foreign reserves, prices, and exchange naira stability. Oil prices spiked higher at the weekend after Israel executed a large preemptive strike on Iran, heightening concerns of a wider conflict in the Middle East and significant disruptions to oil supply routes. And now away from Nigeria, what began as peaceful commemoration in Kenya has ended in violence, with at least 2 people killed and several others injured. During protests marking the first anniversary of last year's deadly anti-government demonstrations. Thousands gathered in central Nairobi and across other towns on Wednesday to remember victims of the 2024 protest in which over 60 people were killed. But the marches turned chaotic, with protesters clashing with police, who responded with tear gas and sealed off government buildings using barbed wire. In Matu, about 100 kilometers from the capital, 2 protesters were reportedly shot dead. At least 1 police officer and several demonstrators were also injured in Nairobi. Tensions flared as demonstrators hurled projectiles and chanted for President William Ruto's resignation, citing police brutality, rising taxes, and a struggling economy. And now in sport, Paris FC sporting director Francois Ferracci has expressed excitement following Moses Simon's arrival at the club. Simon was officially unveiled by the newly League One club on Wednesday. The Nigerian international put pen to paper on a 3-year contract with Stephen Gillies' team. The 29-year-old is the club's first high-profile signing of the summer. Ferracci revealed that Simon showed genuine interest in joining the team despite interest from other clubs. The 29-year-old spent 6 years at Nantes, netting 37 times and delivering 42 assists in 201 appearances. He enjoyed the most productive campaign last season under Antoine Kabwari, recording 8 goals and 10 assists in 32 league appearances. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. My name is Idris Daye Bature, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.